everyone. ExploreTraveler here, coming to you from Sequoia National Forest, episode 14. So we just recently went to the Sequoia National Forest. We've been here for several days. We camped out approximately, just short of 7,000 feet in altitude. Did some hiking, saw some of the largest trees in the world, some of the oldest trees in the world that went way over 2,000 years. John, what do you think about being up so high in elevation?
Actually, I think it was quite nice. A little bit tiring trying to go up the hill when we were done, but I feel like it was a good experience seeing the sequoia trees. And
it's amazing that there's trees that are basically go back to the Roman Empire back there. Puts a pretty big perspective on humanity and really how long we've been doing and building our civilizations. These trees dominate the skyline for thousands of years. And this is not even the oldest one. There's some that are even older than, we saw the Sherman tree, which is about 2,200 years old. They have others. They can go up to 4,000, 5,000 years old sometimes. So, Elijah, tell us what you think about the size of those trees and how dense the forest was and stuff.
Well, typically, even I'm already tall, and then once you go look at those trees, you really just realize how tiny you are in perspective to the whole world. Those trees are the size of skyscrapers.
Well, I mean, that Sherman tree, they had a comparison, and they showed it being towering over the Statue of Liberty.
Yeah.
That's amazing. That's an ecosystem within its own system there.
yeah,
Right? Who knows how much plant life goes off of that. And that's around, 6,700 to 7,000 feet in elevation. So they only grow up really tall. I mean, they got to be in high elevation for them to, I guess, seed, and they got to grow after a burn or something. So it's kind of an unusual.
They're almost immune to burns. Like, they actually flourish with them.
Yeah, they like it.
Yeah, actually,
That's the thing.
they love them.
And it's funny is, if you're in the city, people get all excited when they see I got a Noble for a Christmas tree. Well, Christmas trees are wild up there, and they're 200 years old. So it's kind of odd to see things that people would get excited about it in the city.
And they're not going to fit in your
they're not
house
fit in your
anytime
house.
soon.
No. But it's just basically the perfect, Christmas tree, and they're wild, and nature is alive and well. The deer were everywhere. The mule deer, they're so friendly. What's up with that?
I know, it's just they're used to humans, I guess.
They must be really used to humans, but they...
I mean, they're still scared of you, but they'll get closer than normal.
Yeah.
I mean, one of them was a couple feet away from me.
So we
took
should
a picture of it.
Some of the positives and negatives of being camping overnight in the mountains at almost 7,000 feet. It seems to have some biological changes on the human condition, doesn't it?
I lost weight.
Yeah. Lost weight. Definitely gets cold. And I mean, I think we're around, I don't know exactly how cold it got, but...
It got close to the 30s.
It had to have been in the 30s because our sleeping bags were rated for 40 degrees. Plus we had all of our multiple layers on, and it got pretty chilly. Yeah.
Yep.
It appears that there's some kind of effect if you stay up above 6,000 feet too long. Your body seems to want to flush all water out of your system instantly. I don't understand that. I have to research that out as to why, but it seems to be a natural way to reduce all water weight within about 12 hours. So, some of the things to consider when traveling up to Sequoia National Park. It's actually more than one park. It's like 3 parks. You got the Sequoia Kings National Canyon, you got the Sequoia National Monument, and the Sequoia National Forest. They're all taken care of by different people, but it's kind of like one humongous park, but they're all sort of connected. You'll notice when you go in and out of the different
It's
parks.
just different sections.
Yeah, right. So we saw basically every tree you can imagine in a normal forest, except they were 10 times bigger than normal, right?
Yeah. And then once you start seeing those redwoods and sequoias,
Yeah, redwoods and sequoias and sugar. They had sugar pines that were crazy big. I mean, obviously they're protected, but...
It was almost a foot long.
Yeah, it's just unbelievable how big some of these
They
trees.
were a foot long.
They were very very old, and the diameters, right? So I don't know if anybody ever saw a Star Wars movie, the Ewoks. Basically, we were in that Ewok forest, except no little cute bears.
Yeah, no teddy bears.
No teddy bears with spears.
They're all more vicious in different ways.
Yeah.
Well, there's a few tourists, but it depends on the location in which you go to. When we were in some of the more remote areas, there wasn't hardly any tourists at all. A lot of them just go up there for the day, right? So once we got pretty high in elevation, we didn't have a lot of competition. But as we went a little bit further down, where the day trippers from the big city could come in with their convertibles, they seem to be able to get access to the park. But I don't know, if you live in California and you haven't been to Sequoia, see the Sequoias, you gotta go. It's a must-see, so put that on your travel bucket list. It's an amazing, really a truly amazing thing.
And there's like hundreds of miles, there. There's that one area over by the General Sherman tree.
Yeah.
That area spans for 40 miles of just paths
Yeah,
that you can
40
take.
separate trails, 40 miles of 40 trails or something like that.
Around
But basically, they're actually improved trails. So they're, I wouldn't necessarily say they're totally handicap accessible, but the Sherman tree, you can get in there. If someone wants to push you up the hill on a wheelchair, you could actually get up there.
Yeah.
It's a nice trail. It actually, it's totally prepared. That particular area, I would say, has got the most money invested in it. All of the trees are fenced off. You're not supposed to go beyond the boundaries of the trail. And
For the sake of the
you
nature.
got to take care of these trees. These trees are highly protected and coveted. I mean, there's not a lot of them left. I mean, we went to a couple smaller groves where there's like 58 or so sequoias, kind of off the beaten path. Was around maybe 70, 100 feet or so, and we saw some really nice groves of trees. Let's go back to deer for a second. So unfortunately, I guess if you camp up extreme high elevations over long periods of time, you gotta go to the bathroom in the middle of the night. Of course, you're in a
Camping area.
Camping area, so you gotta use the toilet that they provide you, which is not close enough to your tent, right? So while walking up in the middle of the night, I'm not sure who was scared more, myself or the deer. But the deer almost ran me over because it was so freaked out that humans were walking around at 1:30 in the morning that it almost ran right over me. Yeah, so it's an interesting experience. We didn't have any problems with black bears, although there were signs that they were there.
You actually have a box to protect against
right,
that.
you got boxes to
You
put
throw
your food in
there.
And, I mean,
Bears can't open it.
So, well, they're not. Yeah, they can't open it because they don't have disposable thumbs, but I'm sure they would try.
Yeah.
I mean, years ago when I was camping in this area, similar, the bear was sitting on top of a box waiting for it to be opened. So they have ways. Yeah, if they can't open it, it doesn't stop them from sitting on top of it and just waiting for you to open it.
Well, it's not like we're gonna come over anytime close and next to that
it was
bear.
dark and it was a black bear. He or she was sitting on top of the trash can, and I went to go put the trash in the trash can, and the bear was just sitting there staring at me, waiting for the trash. So, yeah, you got to be careful. You got to pay attention. They're there. Wildlife's there. This is their territory. You're actually just a guest in a foreign land.
Yeah.
So anyway, we spent several days in the Sequoias. We went all the way up to about as high as you can get driving. And then we came back down, and I think in the next podcast we're going to talk about our spelunkering through caves. Went to quite a few caves and had some interesting experiences. Everybody made it, which was a challenge because it got quite odd.
Yeah.
Let's see.
Push the way up.
Anybody have any physical problems while we were up there so high up?
Me personally, no. I felt great. I
could
surprisingly enough,
breathe
all my
better.
allergies.
Yeah.
I didn't sneeze once when I was up there.
So your allergies went away. That's positive.
Yeah, I felt a little bit better being on top of the mountain.
I had some weird reaction with my left foot, where my left foot, for some reason, decided to take on water and little red spots. It was really odd. It went away. It's still healing, but it's just something that happened because we were at high elevation, hiking too much. I don't know. For whatever reason, that one foot decided to gain water. I don't know.
It looked a little bit.
Looked a little scary.
Yeah.
I got a little concerned for about 3 hours, but then it just sort of, as we went down, it went away.
You came in almost in the middle of the night and said, "Do you guys?" You just said, "Do you guys have this?"
I thought maybe everybody had poison oak, but it turns out that wasn't it. So something to be said for living a too comfortable of a life in the high-tech sector for too many decades. Now I'm going back to my roots and having some physical complications from time to time. So we're traveling. We're going to continue our way north through the northwestern states. We're going to give everybody updates along the way. I think the next podcast we'll talk about the spelunkering through caves here in the National Forest. And so until next time, everyone, enjoy and happy travels.
This program is powered by ExploreTraveler.com, bringing the wonders of the world to your home and discover wonderful people all over the world. Visit us now at ExploreTraveler.com.